for scurvy, a ship sickness that you can get, a deadly one. He had 700 pounds of sauerkraut on his ship. No one got the sickness. Here's all the pickleness, the vinegar. He also discovered places like Australia, New Zealand.
No one lived in Australia before me.
Oh, he came to Hawaii too, even though we was here first.
What I did.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Well, seriously. Seriously though. Now when he came to Hawaii, he came 3 times, but the first time he showed up was the right time of year, called Makahiki. It's a time of peace. We're in the time of Lono. Lono is the god of peace and fertility. As soon as in fact, we thought he was Lono. As his ship came into the bay, the legends of Lono says that he's going to come back to our islands on giant white clouds. So as we seen the ship, we saw those big white sails. Hundreds of Hawaiians swam out to a ship. They brought him back to the island. They treated him like a god. Then he left Hawaii the first time to discover more of the northern Pacific area and try to find a north passageway through Alaska. He couldn't find that area. It's all good, bro. Every time I look at you, you don't have to look away. It's all good. Like every time I look, you're like, I'm gonna keep doing the same thing. So, he came the first time, he left, he went to go find the north passageway, couldn't find that passageway through Alaska, came back to Hawaii the second time to repair some of his ship, as well as get more food so he could take a journey home. Now, 10 days after he left the second time, guys, something happened to his ship, his mast broke. So he returned to our islands the third time to repair his ship. Third time he showed up, he pulled in Kealikikua Bay on the Big Island. But we're no longer celebrating Lono, the god of peace. We're now in the time of Ku, the god of war. Back then we were a big warrior race. We would sacrifice you over anything. Oh, we had no regards to human life. Okay, so as he came in Kealikikua Bay, a band of Hawaiian thieves saw these magical weapons on his ship. Cannons and guns. He's still doing it. Cannons, guns, and swords. So they went onto a ship. A band of Hawaiian thieves went onto a ship. They took 2 rescue vessels. They loaded it with 2 iron cannons and some other magical weapons. And they took all these things up the river. Now as Captain Cook came on the islands, he's like, hey Hawaiians, where's all my stuff? You guys know what all the locals said, huh? Well, what stuff, bruh? Now Captain Cook really wanted his things back. So he was going to deploy a tactic that worked for him in other Polynesian islands. He was going to hold the chief ransom until he got his things. The chief of that time on Big Island his name was Kahikili. Told Kahikili to come onto his little dinghy boat that brought him out to the big ship. Now as Kahikili was walking on the beaches, all the wahine, the women, they were crying, saying, no, don't do it. So Kahikili sat down where he stood, and this is when he made a fatal mistake. Back then we had these laws called kapu. K-A-P-U, it's forbidden law. You break one kapu law, it is instant death. Now you can avoid looking at me.
It's like hapu.
Instant death, guys. You break one kapu law, that's it. A couple of kapu laws back then, your shadow touches the chief.
Oh yeah.
The chief's shadow touches you. Imagine dodging those guys around sunset and sunrise. Yeah, I'm gonna stand right here in the shade where it's 96 degrees. Now before I continue, guys, right here to the left, you're gonna see the top of the mountain. Look towards the right. Towards the other right. Right there, that flatter area, guys, on the lower part of the plateau, got those 2 square notches taking out the rocks. You guys seen those the notches?
Yeah.
Now keep that image in your mind because it's gonna tie into her Kamehameha story. Yeah, when he did the wave, it shot those 2 holes up. So Captain Cook, he broke the biggest kapulo. Oh, by the way, another kapulo, man and woman eating together, both of them. Like I said, no regards to human life. So as Captain Cook, as Kahikili sat down on the beach, Captain Cook reached and he touched the chief. The second he touched the chief's strongest warriors that surrounded him, the biggest and baddest ones, they're called the Koa. They all grabbed Captain Cook and they started stabbing him with all their weapons. They started ripping all his meat off his bones. This is why they thought Hawaiians were cannibals at one time. Yeah, because Captain Cook's men saw this. We did not eat him. It would have been funny though. Yeah, his name is Cook. Well, you guys know what SPAM stands for? SPM. Some people are missing. Captain Cook. No, now what we did was we kept the bones, just like the Maoris in New Zealand. We believe in mana. Mana is spiritual power. It lies in your bones. The more mana you have, the more powerful you are. Chiefs will show up to battle wearing other chiefs' bones. Captain Cook had a lot of mana. He had all the people under his control. He had all those magical weapons, and he had that giant canoe. Okay, so that's what happened to Captain Cook. Now Kamehameha, the first king of the kingdom of Hawaii, he was about 40 years old when Kamehameha came in. I mean, Captain Cook came in. Now Kamehameha, being a very akamai, very smart, he knew that Captain Cook wasn't going to be the only outside force coming in. So he told all the other islands, I'm going to bring death or peace upon you guys, but I'm going to unite us as one, so we can defend ourselves from the outside forces. Okay, because the islands were at battle with each other. Now, he conquered Big Island first. The way he did that was he killed his uncle and all his cousins. His uncle was Chief Kaihili. So as he became the chief of Big Island after that, he went out to Maui, had a bloody war in Maui. Big war, too. Then he came to Oahu. Now, you guys remember those square notches I showed you? Now, Kalania Pule was the chief of Oahu at that time. He tried to outsmart Kamehameha. On the other side of those notches, there's a valley in the middle. There's a ridge on one side, there's a ridge on the other side. Kalania Pule put some men up on one ridge, they put some men up on the other ridge. Had some men in the valley to have the war with Kamehameha. Kalania Pule's trickery was, as Kamehameha's men was in the valley having the war, Kalania Pule was going to drop his other men down upon his forces from the ridges. It's a military tactic called a flank. Now, Kamehameha, being a very smart tactician, he showed up to Waikiki with 14,000 war canoes. Split up his men as well. He sent some men up on one ridge. They crawled through a volcano crater, crawled out. They took out that flank of men. They went up the other ridge, but they were dragging 2 iron cannons. Yeah, these iron cannons was missing off of Captain Cook's ship. Kamehameha was part of that band, the Hawaiian Thieves. So they went up there, and you guys saw the square notches up there? They climbed up there, they put the square notches in the rock so they could put the cannons in there and fire them off. Okay, they took out that flank of men on that ridge. Then they had the war in the valley. They pushed everybody up to the top of the pali. Pali meaning she's like jamming. I want to know what she's listening to. Pali means cliff. Okay, so they pushed everybody up to the top of the cliff. When they got there, Kamehameha's men was just throwing everyone off this cliff. If you didn't want to die by Kamehameha's hands, you would just jump off this cliff. They called this battle the Leaping Mullet. Okay, now when they did a research at the bottom of the cliffs over here, guys, they found over 9,000 skeletal bones. As they rearranged a lot of these bones, they found out the average height for a Hawaiian back then was 7 feet tall, 7 Subway sandwiches. Yeah, 2.3 meters. That's because we had this thing called the genocide of the children, but that's a whole other story. Now, after he conquered Oahu, he went to Kauai, but he used his diplomacy. He told the chief of Kauai, I'm going to become the king of this kingdom. You can remain the chief of this island. Of course, that chief was like, yep, I don't want to die. Shook hands, and he united us all as one under one kingdom. Okay, so he's the first king of the kingdom of Hawaii. So that's a little history for you kids today. Yeah, you guys know too much about us now. You guys will have a little bit more story time with Uncle Mark as we go around the island. Now, Kamehameha. The creator of Dragon Ball Z, his name was Akira Toriyama. He couldn't come up with the words for the turtle destruction wave that Master Roshi taught Kakara or Goku. So as Akira's wife came here for vacation, she went back to Japan and she said, why don't you use Kamehameha? Because in Japan, Kame means turtle. So now it's used as the turtle destruction wave. Lots of random information if you guys don't notice yet. Now guys, this town we're in, this is Kaneohe. Everybody say Kaneohe.